Welcome to Get Loud About Your Life. I'm your host, Dorothy Guerra. Today I have an amazing show for you on the awakening of Kundalini or Kundalini Yoga. Kundalini is dear to my heart because back when I first came into the world of yoga, this was one of the first forms of yogic expression that I learned from Hari Nam Singh Khalsa, who is my guest today. Now, can you imagine living a life of bliss, where you can let your thoughts go and be a pure form of divine love? Unfortunately, it's not always easy to find that expression. And I had a quick chat with Hari Nam before the show, and he said something really powerful to me, which is we always wait till it's too late to start digging and trying to find ourselves. So without further ado, I want to go further into that and explain to you what Kundalini is, and then join me later on with Hari Nam as we show you what Kundalini is and how to actify that in your body and become divine love through mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to the show.
Oh, what's up, Nam? Nice to be here.
And so, like I said, I owe you my entrance into my yogic journey of finding Kundalini was such a powerful thing. Why don't you explain to the audience really quickly what Kundalini awakening is?
Well, you know, every type of yoga has a purpose to raise Kundalini. Kundalini is known that at the base of our spine is an energy that's untapped. And every yogic system is to be able to take that energy at the base of the spine. Sometimes we see it as a coil, like a serpent, so the Kundalini energy. So that by stimulation, that energy can rise through the spine, can come through that central vagus nerve, so that one then can, through that stimulation, improve the circulation of the body, become more alert, to have the body become more healthy. So the Kundalini Yoga is taught by Yogi Bhajan, who was my teacher for over 30 years, created a very streamlined system so that we can activate the energy of the body system and have this energy work very quickly. In today's society, we need techniques and technology that work immediately because we don't have the 20 or 30 years. I was graced to have many, many years of study, but we really need technique that works. So Kundalini Yoga, as we teach it, is a system of exercising that even if you come to your first class or experience a few exercises, you'll feel that shift of energy within yourself.
Right. And now, how in your life did you find Kundalini Yoga? How did it make an impact on your life?
Well, I started yoga at the age of 22, about 10 years ago. No, just kidding. There was one teacher in the city of Toronto who taught Hatha Yoga. In fact, in those years, when we said we did yoga, they would say, "You do yogurt?" We said, no, yoga. They thought we were crazy to do yoga. I'm talking 1974, 75. And through some of the work that I was doing in the health food business, which was just beginning to blossom at that time in Toronto, I ran into one of the stores that was run by Kundalini yogis. And that's how I became interested. And I took a class, and I was even that first class made such a difference in my life that then I began as a student of Kundalini Yoga. So that was 40 years ago. And to this day, I do my yoga every single day, and I've spread yoga throughout Canada. We were some of the pioneers of bringing yoga through Canada and to the outreach of people and training teachers over the last 20 years throughout Canada. So it's been a great joy to watch the yoga movement. You know, yoga, Y-O-G-A, your own greatness assured.
Assured, that's a good one.
So
I'd steal that.
Yoga becomes a way of life. We are saying that don't wait until you're in pain, do it now.
That's right. And there's so many paths of yoga today, and it's just become it's blown up, and there's so many different forms and expressions. It's almost from such a simple thing, it's almost become very complicated. And I think one of the things I want the viewers to understand is that yoga is a system to improve the quality of your life and to awaken mind, body, spirit. And again, I think mind, body, spirit is something in the social media world is also blown up to become very complicated as well. And can you simplify how Kundalini brings that unison for mind, body, and spirit? If a viewer was to look at all these forms of yoga, what class should I take? Why Kundalini Yoga?
Well, you know, the trinity of body, mind, and spirit, the word yoga itself, yoga means that union. And the trinity of that union is body, mind, and spirit. So one who practices yoga practices the art of that trinity. One who becomes a yogi, yogini, lives that unity of that trinity. Physically, it's very important that the body moves every day, that we're able to stretch the body. Yoga is a simple science of the angles and the triangles of the body. If we do some postures later, we see that no matter how we're sitting, there's an angle or a triangle or a posture that we're doing. And the angular system of the body is an ancient technology of healing physically. So physically, if the body isn't having good circulation, most disease is caused because of poor circulation. So through Kundalini Yoga, we work a lot on circulation within the body system, through the postures, through the meditations, through the chanting, so that we can then have better, with that better and increased circulation, it gives us more awareness of ourselves. Mentally, we have to learn how to be still. You know, I say if you don't meditate, you medicate, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Is your choice to do, right? And today meditation is so popular. I began meditation over 50 years ago. Very young man at 14, can you believe, in the 1960s. Somehow it came to me. So people ask me, well, do you teach meditation? I say no. They say, what do you teach? I say, how to have a meditative mind. That the mind itself has to always be meditative. What does meditation do? It stimulates our intuition. If we don't use our intuitive mind, which is the neutral mind, then we get stuck in this life. How do we find our way through, especially what's happening today, what we call Kali Yuga, the darker age, a time of shifting, as we're shifting from the Piscean to the Aquarian technology, the Aquarian age, which we know our children, which is the age of the sensory system, are very much advanced more than we are. So mentally, we want to be able to access that inner wisdom and inner knowledge. And spiritually, we want the spirit to be connected. What's the word spiritual? Means actualizing your spirit. What is spirit? Spirit is the essence of you and your relationship upon this earth.
Right.
Right?
And there's so many people, I think, that are looking for something now.
Yes.
With the world so unbalanced, and every time we turn on the TV or the news, it's always something negative, or a famous person has taken their life, and and everybody just sort of has been clinging to all this negativity. Spirituality, I think people are starting to wake up to that. And in light of talking about waking up, one of the things that I love about Kundalini Yoga is the whole process of the spine. And it has a deep-rooted practice of what you were calling the Kundalini. Can you break that down for the audience and explain how that Kundalini of the spine works?
Well, what that means is that the base of our spine, in yogic terms, Shushumna, right? That central nerve of the system, the Ida, the Pingala, these are yogic technology. But simply speaking, it's your nervous system. So we have both a sympathetic and a parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is the gas, right? The parasympathetic is the brake. So when we go, and the sympathetic nervous system of this go becomes too imbalanced, and we can't find that break. So we break if we can't break ourselves, right? So when we stimulate that energy to flow through, in physiological terms, a central vagus nerve of the spine. Remember that spinal column is what carries the blood to the brain, right? And that fluid, that serum, that gives us life. Without that, we're not there anymore, we're gone. So by stimulating that energy and balancing our nervous system, which is through the pranayama, the breath, right? Pranic energy, prana means life force. So there's two aspects at this navel point. One is prana, which moves upward, which is a life force energy, and the other is apana, which is the downward energy, the eliminative energy. If it's not balanced in the body, then the body itself doesn't know what to do. And as it builds up, if we don't eat, if we're not eating properly, we're not exercising properly, and we feel that our body system is off, we feel something is wrong, right? Where we can naturally balance ourselves through Kundalini Yoga. We can have a natural balance of our physical body by understanding the body. If we're not breathing fully and our breath is shallow, there's a simple saying. You have a shallow breath, you have a shallow life. So we want to bring that breath from the navel point, right? Third chakra, fire energy, the chi energy of the navel point. So by stimulating that through our breath and activating that Kundalini energy so that pranic energy can rise, so that that blood can go into the brain, so that we can be able to be alert, and through that process, that nectar, Amrit, we call that nectar, then becomes released through the body system, and it's a natural form of healing.
Right. And the other thing I want to discuss with you too is our conscious and subconscious mind. If we are not meditating in our life, or we're not even meditating, because that's a big word in itself, but being mindful, something as simple as the breath, or just mindful of gratitude and appreciating the small things, we tend to start living lives where our self-talk is dark and negative, and we basically don't have any control of the thoughts going through our brain. So Kundalini Yoga, I know, focuses a lot on the chanting or vocal expression. Can you explain about how incorporating that type of mindfulness into your life makes a difference?
Well, we do a lot of chanting, a lot of sound vibration. That the sound itself, the way that this body works is perfectly. That Creator that created us perfectly. When we chant and we vibrate the movement of the tongue, the meridians or pressure points that we have, in our mouth itself, the tongue, as we talk, the tongue is stimulating these meridians that are in our palate, right? If you open your mouth. And if you want, I don't want to get too deep today, we can talk for hours about the philosophy. But basically, that when we chant, right, anything, Sat Nam Vaheguru, Sat, 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 Gobinda, 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 the tongue is working. So it hits these meridians that open up the glandular system, that stimulate our pituitary gland, our master gland, right? And through that stimulation of the pituitary is a third eye point, or master gland. And that stimulates what we call pineal gland, which secretes that serotonin, which gives us that sense. So by chanting verbally, chanting and stimulating this through the exact science we use in Kundalini Yoga in sound vibration, it stimulates that opening of those channels, right? To give you a clarity, right? And when the mind relaxes, we have three minds: negative, positive, and neutral. Negative mind is in the past. If you know anybody who's negative, they'll always talk about the past. And anyone who gets stuck in their past will never move forward into your future. That's a law of the universe.
Right.
So when people become depressed or stressed out, they'll always say, well, it's because of this and that. There's three aspects of neurotic behavior. One is to do things that you know you shouldn't do, but you do it anyways. Anybody know about that?
Oh, yes.
Second is we blame somebody else. Well, I wouldn't have done it if so-and-so. And the third is to go, poor me. The PLO, I'm poor little old me, the victim of it. So then when the negative mind engages that self, so then we run to that positive mind. Well, but if I just win the lottery, I'll have all my money. If I just find the right, then I'll have everything. So the negative mind and positive mind are not balanced. Each has its purpose. Negative is a warning, positive, we want a future. But if we look at that triangle of negative, positive, at the top we have what we call a neutral mind. And that neutral mind cuts between the negative and the positive. If we say negative is the past and positive is the future, then what's the neutral mind? Is the present. And what's a present? Present is a gift. Right. So when we meditate and this process happens, I don't want to explain how the physiology will be here forever. But basically when you access that neutral mind and it cuts between that negative and positive, it gives you a clarity of thought and of action. You look at what's negative, gives you that idea. Look at what is positive, where do I want to go? But then you find that center place within yourself. So basically through our yoga, our Kundalini Yoga, our meditations, our chanting, our keeping still, we want to be able to find that clarity of focus. Because in this day and age, we don't just need clarity, we need crystal clarity.
That's so true. Working through all that muck that's around us, especially once we open up our phones and the computer, and there's just so much stuff that we're not, overload, that we're not able to control. And we don't even know what we're taking in subliminally. I also want to ask you about the white. So I dressed in white today, to support the Kundalini movement. Now I know with people that would be taking a look at their options for yoga, they would automatically see this Kundalini following and everybody's wearing white. So can you demystify some of that cult feeling that some people get that uneasiness with, and explain the reasoning behind the wearing of the white?
Well, you know, I always try to be as pure as I can, and when you eat ketchup, everything shows up, so you got to be real careful, you know. But the thing is about white, you know, we wear cotton clothing, natural fibers, so the body can breathe. You know, we have that third lung we call our skin. And wearing white is just, you know, it advances the normal electromagnetic field, the normal aura of a human being should be at least 6 feet. When we wear white clothes and cotton clothes, just the nature, you know, when you see a doctor, a nurse, you see somebody dressed in white, there's a difference, you see that person. Maybe not a chef, I don't know. But when we wear white, it expands that electromagnetic field, right? Because white itself is the color of all colors. Right? So we don't wear it as a cult, as a fanatic, but as a consciousness of self. When I wear white and I dress this is how I dress, it's not only externally known, but internally, I honor myself every day. Someone says, why do I wear a turban? I said, nobody told me I should put one on, and if I decide to take it off, it's my choice.
Right.
But every day I crown myself, so that energy can be recirculated. So the whole philosophy that we have, because we are yogis, right? It's to have that constant circulation of energy flowing through us at any 24/7, so that it never really leaves that auric field, which then gives us that ability to be able to serve others at a much greater way. Our life is a life of service of all humanity. We have spiritual communities, but they're made up of many people, not just the people who wear white. They're made up of many, many people, of many faiths. We're inclusive to everyone. But for me, it personally, it enhances for myself that which in me that says, understand my responsibility to serve.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful understanding of it. It even brought some clarity to myself as well. So without further ado, why don't we get loud and show the viewers what Kundalini is, so that they have an opportunity to hit the mat with us and open up their own Kundalini awakening, and give them a little bit of taste on the breathing and the posture work and what it looks like. And this is our Posture of the Week segment, where we are going to actually practice some Kundalini with you. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, can you imagine living a life full of bliss? What that would feel like? Well, Harinam's going to take us through a Kundalini practice so that you can find out what bliss is going to feel like.
Well, you know, the first thing that we want to understand is getting in touch with our breathing. We've talked a lot today about being able to become more relaxed, more at ease within ourselves. So we want to learn, first of all, how to breathe properly. So we teach what's called long, deep breathing. And long, deep breathing, you know, most of us just breathe very shallow, just from our, you know, chest area, upper chest. But we want to learn how to bring this breath from our navel point. That's the first thing in beginning to bring this circulation into the body system and helping us to relax. So in long, deep breathing, we want to inhale through our nose. And inhale so that you feel, as you're inhaling, your chest is rising. Hold that for a moment. And then as you exhale through your nose, bring it back down again to your navel point. If you sit and just bring your hands onto your knees and Gyan Mudra, your thumb and your first finger together. Gyan means knowledge. And relax your shoulders, tuck your chin in slightly. If you can, focus your eyes to your third eye point between your eyebrows at the root of your nose. And let's do together a few times this long, deep breathing. Remember to inhale and to bring this breath up from your navel point and bring it all the way up until your chest rises a little bit. Hold that breath in for a moment and then exhale through your nose and just have it come back down again. Keep your eyes closed down, it's okay. And let's do this a few times together. And each time we inhale, feel that you're bringing into you this life force energy. Hold it for a moment, exhale, and just let your shoulders relax. Relax your shoulders. You'll see how calm you become in a very easy way. So let's do this 2 more times. Inhale deep. Hold the breath in for a moment. And exhale. Remember, as you exhale, relax your shoulders. Come on, relax, relax. And 1 more time. Inhale deep. Hold the breath in. And let it go. Very good. And now we just want to move our spine a little bit because we talked again of having the circulation through our spine. You just bring both hands onto your heart. And inhale to the left and exhale to the right. So like bring your hands to your heart. I don't want to bring it over the microphone. And just inhale to the left and exhale to the right. Let your head lead the way so you get a stretch in your neck. Now if you're very loose, you can do it very rapidly and really move that spine. And if not, just go very slowly. Just go side to side. So we're getting some movement in our spine. When our spine is very tight, we become very uptight. So again, we're just showing you a few things today. Now inhale deeply, come to the center. And relax, very good. And just with your hands onto your knees, inhale your shoulders up and just roll them back. Again, now we just want to loosen our shoulders. Inhale, remember that inhale from your navel point. Remember that long, deep breathing. Keep the breath there. Inhale, raise up. And exhale, come around. So very simple. You know, our shoulders become very tight, our spine is very tight. And now reverse it and bring them forward. Now we're doing it just to show you today. You can do it for a longer time at home, or where you are. Very good. Now inhale, bring your shoulders up, hold. Now squeeze very tight, tight. Bring your shoulders to your ears. Our ears get lonely up there. And exhale, open your mouth. Very good. Let's do that one more time. It sounded so great. Inhale. And raise your shoulders up and squeeze tight every muscle. Get rid of residual tension in your body. And exhale, open your mouth. Very good. Relax. And take a moment now and just relax your shoulders. Feel. But connect your breath at your navel point. And then just drop your chin to your chest and gently rotate your neck in circles. It's very simple. Just inhale as your head comes up. And exhale as it comes around and through. Very good. And take your time with it. If you feel there's tension, tightness in your neck, take your time with it. And reverse the direction, come the other way around. Very good. And take your time and bring your ear to your shoulder. Don't bring your shoulder up to your ear. And stretch that neck. Very good. And inhale, now come to the center. And exhale. And in Kundalini Yoga, we use mantras like Sat Nam. Sat means truth, Nam means name or identity. And just to relax, we'll just do for a few times now just a very simple breath meditation. Inhaling Sat and exhaling Nam. Let's do this together, Dorothy. Inhale.
Okay.
Sat Nam. Again, inhale. Sat. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Hear the sound within. Again, one more time. Inhale. And relax your shoulders. Now inhale very deep. And just take a couple of seconds, hold this breath in, close your eyes, hold this breath. And relax. Well, Dorothy, we just did that for a few minutes.
I feel amazing.
Just to feel a little more calm and at ease.
Yeah, and it's true. I can feel like my body is vibrating. It's just you don't realize that the tension and the stress that you're holding, and it just takes a few moments like that to make such an impact on your body, your mind, and your spirit.
Well, thank you so much for having me here today with you, and wish you continued success, and be good to yourself, and really help to illuminate and raise the consciousness of many people.
Oh, I thank you.
So.
I thank you sincerely. You've been a tremendous blessing in my life today, whether you know it or not. Just our little side conversations have been a blessing.
And let the viewers know they can reach me on Facebook at Harinam Singh.
Yes. Yes. And thank you for joining us today. Remember, there's always a way for you to get loud about your life and feel good. So when in doubt, tune in, get loud with me. But I actually want Harinam to close the show today. He gave me 4 important lessons about life, and I really think this will help you get loud about your truth. And why don't you tell them what that was?
Yes, Dorothy, there's 4 pillars that I teach. And those 4 pillars are: 1, to know yourself; Second is to be yourself. Third is to love yourself. And the fourth one is to trust yourself. So know yourself, love yourself, trust yourself, and be yourself. And if your criteria doesn't match into that, don't do it.
Amazing. And with that, I wish you a really loud life. Tune in next week.
Satnam.
Satnam.